Why the term Jedi is problematic. Oh, honey, you don't have to tell me that something is problematic. I pretty much just assume that everything is problematic these days. In fact, hell, problematic is to me little more than a sales pitch, really. Oh, really? Your product is problematic, you say? Well, we have ourselves an interesting deal here then, don't we? But this is posted in Scientific American, a once prestigious paper, news site, publication, now reduced to yet another communist cumrag. This, incidentally, is why the old news media needs to die en masse. But still, this is a rather funny one because we've had a bit of a focus on Star Wars recently, particularly with the Vision series, which I think had some really good ideas, and it focused a bit more on the old themes that once made Star Wars such a good thing and such a cultural phenomenon. And I would very much so like to see Star Wars head more in that direction, and luckily, for once, it appears as if myself and the SJWs are of a similar mind. No, the term Jedi should not be used to describe justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion work. It should not be used for these things. In fact, if you're done wiping your filthy orifices all over it, could we maybe have the term back? Could we not combine it with any of this nonsense? Could we just have it be a Star Wars thing? That seems lovely, wouldn't it? Anywho, the thing here, the acronym JEDI has become a popular term for branding economic committees and labeling STEM. Note the, actually, STEM. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue quite as well, as they've snuck in medicine there, which, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against medicine, but I think STEM is very specifically against science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Medicine is a bit of an outlier there, but oh well. Initiative focused on social justice issues, and again, if your STEM, ignore the M, STEM issue is focusing on social justice issues, you're not in a STEM class, you are in a political indoctrination classroom, and you should flee Tootsuite. Using in this context, and that too, like, really? Is this a common thing? People in STEM are calling themselves Jedis, and this stands for Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion? Really? Is this an actual thing? And I love the way they're placing this too. It shares a name with the super-heroic protagonist of science fiction Star Wars franchise. So JEDI, the acronym, shares a name with the super-heroic protagonist of Star Wars. Hold on there a second. And by the way, this thing has been written by like 5 people or something, who are now claiming that, oh, no, you see, we were the ones who invented Jedi, but that's silly Star Wars. It's sometimes mistaken for that little-known pop culture thing. God. How deep is the subversion when the SJWs are looking at Star Wars and going, hey, stop ripping us off. God damn. I'm so stupid. So the reasons here are, the Jedi are inappropriate mascots for social justice. I mean, I agree. The Jedis are the good guys, and you lads most certainly are not. Though, a hidebound cult hurtling towards its own doom because it is unwilling to, in any way, shape, or form, moderate its ridiculousness. You know what? I can see certain little combinations there, definitely. Although they're ostensibly heroes, ostensibly, within the Star Wars universe, the Jedi are inappropriate symbols for justice works. They are a religious order of intergalactic police monks, prone to white saviorism. Ah yes, Yoda, the white savior. And toxically masculine approaches to conflict resolution. You mean diplomacy? Because that was the initial idea of the Jedi. You know, when Obi-Wan and his sidekick, actually the other way around at that point, arrived on the trade delegation ship, who, by the way, the trade delegation did absolutely nothing wrong, and they should have just received the Jedi and gone like, this is legal blockade. Go away. There you go. It's all done. Naboo defaulted on its debt. Screw Naboo. They're the bad guys here. They're the ones instigating this rebellion. Screw Naboo. Violent duels with phallic lightsabers. We have to click on that. Lightsaber duel. It just brings us to the goddamn Wikipedia on lightsaber duel. I don't know. Is this... Hold on. Disney, don't copyright strike me. Is this a phallic symbol? I mean, if you're being very creative, I guess you could imagine balls on Ren's retardo saber. Yes. So here's a woman wielding a very oddly shaped futuristic penis, clashing against another woman with another slightly more penis-y thing. Oh, that is dumb. The Jedi are also an exclusionary cult, but that's true, membership of which is partially predicated on the possession of heightened psychic and physical abilities. That's true as well. You know, the more they say, I'm actually on the SJW side on this. No, you shouldn't use Jedi. It has far too many positive connotations. Stick with communist. It's more, roundly absurd. Star Wars has a problematic cultural legacy. The cultural legacy of Star Wars. What, a ripoff of a Japanese samurai movie? Okay, that's a little bit harsh. The space opera franchise has been criticized for trafficking in injustices such as sexism, racism, and ableism. And may I just also, the fact that ableism is, in this day and age, it is presented as a genuine complaint. Oh, it's ableistic. What, you mean it's got healthy people in it? Yes, it doesn't have enough crippled superheroes. Man, we have... The fact that we have allowed this to get to the point where this is an argument in certain circles tells us everything we know about need to know about the state of our species. Think, for example, of the so-called Slave Leia costume, infamous for stripping down and chaining up the movie series' first leading woman, quote-unquote, as part of an Orientalist subplot. Those Dalmatians, looking like giant slugs and enslaving women, I'm not entirely sure what the critique is here, but very well, Scientific American, this seems like a balanced critique that you are leveling here. Star Wars arguably conflates alienness with non-whiteness. I like how they go, Star Wars arguably does this. So, in other words, if you are a little bit of a douchebag and perhaps arguing in astoundingly bad faith, as is often the case with certain people, then you could kind of see this, whilst everyone else is, what? Non-white? So the aliens are the non-whites. Aha. Does this mean that alien Lando Calrissian was an alien? It's a weird way of viewing black people, but you be you, I guess. Disavow. Jedi connects injustice initiatives to corporate capital. You know what? Once again, we are in absolute complete agreement, though not necessarily for the same reasons. It's a product. Circulating the product's name can promote and benefit the corporation that owns it. Even if we do not mean to do so, we are in effect providing that corporation, Disney, with a form of free advertising. Commodifying and cheapening our justice work. You are professional activists who grief for money every day and every night. Oh, God help you if you were to commodify your justice work. That would be awful. And also, the idea here that 5 rando SJWs are... They're giving advertisement to Disney. Oh yes, I am sure Disney, as implied earlier, made the name Jedi, you see, specifically to try and muscle in on your territory there. Right. Oh, that is dumb. But I agree, you should not aid corporate capital, I agree. Aligning justice work with Star Wars risks threatening inclusion and a sense of belonging. Because don't you know, most of us actually hate Star Wars. I mean, hell, if anything, the woman they hired to rewrite KOTOR, if she is anything to go by, this is yet another spot-on complaint right here, since she too apparently didn't like KOTOR very much, until she was paid to like it, at which point, yay, favorite game ever. Oh, how weird. While an overreaching goal of Jedi Initiative is to promote inclusion, the term Jedi might make people feel excluded, you see. Star Wars is popular, but divisive. Is it? Really? I genuinely figured that Star Wars wouldn't be all that divisive like Star Wars. Do you like Star Wars or don't you like Star Wars? I guess the divisiveness is in the yes or no, but I'm presuming they're going to elaborate on this somewhat. Identifying our initiatives with it may nudge them closer to the realm of fandom. Oh, Jesus, I see now the problem. Manufacturing in groups and outgroups those unfamiliar, uncomfortable Star Wars, including those hurt by the message it sends. I may feel alienated by the parade of jokes, puns, and references around the term Jedi. Ooh, consider as an example its gender exclusionary potential. Gasp. Gender exclusionary potential in Star Wars. Studies suggest that the presence of Star Wars and Star Trek memorabilia, such as posters, may repel women. Well, they don't say that, but it would be natural to assume. In computer science, classrooms can reinforce masculine stereotypes about computer science. I wasn't joking. I was spot the fuck on. Oh, Jesus. It literally is like if you have a Star Wars poster on your wall, women are going to see that and go, virgin loser, and flee out the door. Like, they're literally claiming that Star Wars and Star Trek is pussy repellent. Hey, hell. I don't even necessarily disagree to a certain extent, but that is such a lovely argument to make. Oh, it's not going to be inclusive enough because women are afraid of the masculine stereotypes of computer science and Star Wars. Oh, criminy cricket again. Ay. Oh, heavens. That one's a good one. I like that one. That is a fine argument there, Scientific American. Again, I don't know if I can back this up, but it's funny if nothing else. And the abbreviation on Jedi can distract from justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Because when you hear Jedi, you don't think about equity, which is fair enough, the Jedi are not an equitable order. In fact, they are a rather, focused on achievement, on excellence, indeed. It's not necessarily particularly diverse either, since it only accepts those who are Force-sensitive. I mean, it would be funny to have, you know what? That would be an excellent spin-off series. The Jedi Order goes insane and just starts recruiting random people with no Force capabilities whatsoever. So you hand out lightsabers to people who go like, boom, wow, that's weird. Start swinging them around, start cutting themselves like, ow, Jesus Christ, my limbs flew off. Why? Why'd you give us these ridiculously dangerous things? Inclusion. It'd be kind of funny too. And inclusion indeed, yes. Instead, the acronym is likely to conjure a pattern of spaceships, lightsabers, and blaster-wielding stormtroopers. Imagine that. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that I assume that the reason why nerdy-ass types that initially got involved with this absolute garbage would call themselves Jedi, people from STEM fields would organize their groups and go, we're Jedis, had nothing at all to do with justice, equity, diversity, or inclusion, but instead because pew-pew laser noises and vroom-vroom saber swords. Lightsaber swords. Oh, Jesus. This, again, I wanted to stress the point too. This is in Scientific American. That's how far this has gotten. Though, It is fascinating, isn't it, to see them now actually argue, because all this time we've seen these people go like desperately, let us in, we want to be a part of your hobby. Now we need to change it all. And once they'd finally infiltrated to the point where they have claimed the term Jedi for their own, rather than it, referring to the actual Jedi, now they're taking a shocked step back and going, what the hell are all of these Star Wars fans doing here? What are all of these sweaty nerds doing in my SJW hideout? It's kind of a delicious irony, isn't it? Like, people like me have been waking up to this for ages now and looking around like, what the hell are all of these racists doing in my hobby? What do you mean black people can only play other black people? Are you insane or something? And now they are having the same thing, like, what? I'm not here to talk about lightsabers or Wookiees, goddammit, I'm here to talk about race, hell! Their subversion has been a little bit too effective. Oh, Jesus. Actual, genuine clown world. Aye. Funny, nevertheless, though. This has been more of a funny one, because sometimes you need to do something a bit interesting, particularly also as I'm gonna have to do a second video on the whole GW drama, because after doing the first one, I feel like a lot of the waters has been somewhat murky, so I'm probably gonna have to do one there, trying to lay things out a little bit more, and I'm not looking forward to that, because that's probably not gonna be anywhere near as funny. So, until next time, I have been Arch, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Until then, have a good day.